Today we are going to discuss this control break statements. So there are five things, okay, six around, okay. So at new, at first, at new, at end of, at last, on change of some. These are all the six keywords we are using for control break statements. Within the loop, we are using this. I'll go to the student report. Okay, I'll use here. So yesterday we wrote these headings in outside of the loop, right? So basically we're supposed to write in this for if you're not using control break statement, we're supposed to write outside. Okay. So how control break statement will help whenever this loop started. Okay. Inside we can write at first, ended. So whenever there is a loop started, basically first time it will call this whatever the code in between at first. Okay. So we can put this code instead of ended. I mean at first. Okay, you can see at first. So whenever first loop call, by default this code will execute. So and this code will not execute. Okay. So next time it will not. This code will not execute, and remaining loops, whatever the work areas is, keep on values changing dynamically and loop by loop. So that time it will be executed. So second loop onwards. That means sometimes when students are confusing. The when the first loop happening, first record will skip. No, it will not skip. It will be executed this by default, and the first record only it will start here. Okay, let's see. We're supposed to get 8 records. No, I commented this. Total how many entries? Let me comment. In database we have 3 entries, so we should get all 3 entries now. I can see no difference in output. Okay, headings also same. Only the thing is we are putting inside the loop. Okay,
Right.
it's for at first. It is pure opposite at last. If you want to do anything, end of the report, like a footer kind of thing, some signature kind of thing, we can write here. That see here I'm displaying something. Just adding some text after underline. So this text will get in the footer part.
Uline means underline. Okay.
Yes. You can see we got some underline. After that we got these terms and conditions also. So I use the color 6. The color 6 will be this pink color.
Got you. I think with this now piece of code, we can write a real-time email also, right? The header and footer, and
Yes, yes.
individually
Yes.
can send an email. Yeah.
But this and all will work only within the loop. Huh? Outside loop will not work. So email part we don't need loop. We can directly write outside of the loop.
Mm.
That we have a different format with OOPS concepts we are using. That will discuss at the time of OOPS concept discussion.
Okay. Yeah.
So now next one, at first at last we use now at new. So at new will work whenever there is a new entry on specified field. So we'll mention one field in the total record like a student number or name. So what are the field we mention if the new value change? Suppose first record student number 1, then next record it's a student number 2 value change. So automatically we want to display some heading, okay, like sales order item details, purchase order item details. For continuously 7-8 records, a sales order will not change because 7 entries are item details for that particular sales order. After line items completed, next it will go to the next sales order first item. Again, next sales order second item. So sales order always will be same for all the
Same.
items.
Okay.
So we
Mm-hmm.
wanted to separate individual. I mean, every sales order item we have to put it in the. We have to separate some value or some separate some colors, something like that. So that time we can use.
Not new. Okay.
Here I'm using new value string number. So here for every new, I'm displaying a message. See here I'm using a slash for every line. Okay, you have to be separate. Just click on save, check. No component exists. Okay, you can see here now student number first, it is highlighted on color, then it displayed the record. Again, next time student number two change, again it displayed. So like sales order one, we have number of items, so we'll get 4 5 records. Then new sales order again, how many items we for assigned for that sales order, it will display. So like that it will separate it for every item.
Yeah. I think this the
But
view is
currently,
better to see that. Yeah.
yeah, currently it is a master data. Always will get one record after this. This when there is a item related data, that time we can use this. There are multiple values depending on this key value, so you can display as a blocks wise.
Great.
Here, I tried with work area and hyphen field. Actually, we should be direct field is enough. Okay, as in what are the fields, not refer with work area.
Okay.
Yeah. At end of this is also similar to opposite to at new. When it is started, it displaying something. When the field, suppose when that sales order is ended, that time it will call this. That is like closing student. In this program might not understand actual requirement, but sometimes they will ask. Okay, whenever this new sales order came in the output, they wanted to display some value. Okay, and after sales order close, it will display some subtotals kind of thing. So that time we can use this closing
Mhm.
student.
Is it end at or at end?
End it.
But you have mentioned at end of serial number. Okay, that is
No, no, this is starting. This is closing.
starting.
Okay,
Okay,
here at
got it.
new is the keyword. So at end of the student number, at new of student number. So we are
Okay,
closing end it. We are always using end and whatever the keyword started at or end. If
okay,
it is started if, end if. It is started while, end while, like that words.
okay.
Case, end case. Always we are using end. End is our own normal terminology, right? So we are using end for.
Right.
Okay, now we can see not performing. One second. Okay. So sorry, I didn't give any color. That's why I got confused. You can see here closing student. This is starting student. This is closing student. Again, student two opened, displayed, it closed the student.
Okay.
If student three is open, it closes student. Here always
Closes.
we are getting one entry, so that's why not if we, at the time of sales order we will use this again if possible. Okay, that time we will get to know four entries. It will separate it. For every sales order, every purchase order, there might be four item details based on items they purchased.
Mm-hmm.
This one, and we have on change of. This is new version. This is introducing new version. Okay, on change of for student number. I'll use not student number. Last name I'll use. Comment in this art new and at end of. So understand this functionality. Student name. We open student date table entry. Okay, so we have two narrations subsequently, right? Continuously. So I'll create some more entries here. Okay, this rule we are not using. For this type.
Mm-hmm.
LUR. Just click on save. And when we come back, you can see Naresh subsequently came. Okay, here I'll mention. Okay. So now we use at new. At new will work whenever this. Suppose if you mention only for student number. Okay. If whenever the student number change, that time only it will create that separate block, starting and ending. Okay, heading on all. But if you use on change, so if you use on change for this last name, okay, here we are using on change. Whenever this is changed, it will separate the block. In this case, Naresh, next name also it is Naresh. It will not change. It both will display on the same section based on that new. Okay, let me show in programmatically.
Got it.
I'm commenting this on change of. I'll put in this scenario. Okay, instead of student name, I'll mention it last name. I just commented.
Okay.
Which is working first. Just closing. We have five entries. The difference is here at new when it will be working only for specified field. Here I need to take. Okay, 1 second. Okay.
Yeah.
So on change of did one value 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay. Whenever this value change on change of okay, see we put it for last name. Okay, last name is continuously came Naresh and Naresh. So it didn't change. So it first time in the loop it took number one, but it after that it continues to take because Naresh is same. After it is changing the Naresh it to Arun, then it displayed again. Again Roja it is displayed Arun.
But what
But
happened to Arun? Then it is not displaying the same way.
yeah, actually the functionality of Atmi is suppose if you mention for one field, if that field change, then only it will perform. But on change, how it will work? If you mention last name, even if you mention last name also, if it's student number change, automatically it will separate. But it is working as like new only.
Hmm.
So here one to two change. It's supposed to change actually. It should be put a new setup. New
Yeah.
setup. You can select a keyword. Whatever the keyword you're using, just press F1. We'll get SAP documentation. But at the starting stage, you will not understand all this. So they are using a different kind of documentation. So once you understand the subject, then you have to go in. I mean, every keyword, then you'll get to know.
Right.
Okay. So they were using in not the loop status. Okay. They are telling that they are using in not loop different scenario. I'll show that scenario. So not in this loop
Oh, no worries.
is working same manner. That is at the time of normalization, SQL normalization, like we have different select queries. So that time I'll show this on change. So at this moment, we just understand these four. We have some also. Some will use real-time scenario. Okay, we have one more right here. Some actually, if you mention one field like fees, we have the fees kind of right or quantity kind of thing or marks kind of thing. So that time, if you put some for that particular field, so it will display the total sum by end of the output. Okay, if we have to specify that output, that time we will get to know what is the total amount. It will automatically calculate. Okay.
Okay.
So at this moment, we discuss at first, okay, first loop. So we call it as a site tabix. Site tabix means it will return that loop number basically inside the loop. So this is system variable we are using. So this will return the which loop we are in. So whenever there is a site tabix equal to one, that time only it will call. Okay, at first. Okay, at new, whenever value change on specified field. This we can write open text only. At
Okay.
end, specified field value close. We can say. Time it will work. At last will be end of the loop. We can say. End of the loop it will work at last.
Okay.
So this is very important for interview point of view. We are using very less because as I told classical report also whenever there is a specific structure that time only we'll use classical report and this is part of classical report. So that
Mhm.
time only we use. And even normal programs also we can use not the direct of right if you're appending some other, but this basically designed for output format like headings or at the first at the last. Okay, header and footer format that time they design, but we have some other options. We are using advanced option. Without these all options, we can directly display heading and top footer